G'day trendsetters, coming to you today as we roll away from Willunga here in South Australia, which is quite often well known for the Willunga Hill, part of the tour down under. We will be descending Willunga Hill at the very end of the ride. We do have quite a bit of climbing on today's course. Not a hugely long ride, but we're going to be cutting over to the coast towards Sellicks Beach, then back inland across the local mountainy type range. Let's get cracking. Pretty tasty, eh, trendsetters? We're not too far from McLaren Vale. In addition to vineyards, there's a lot of olives grown in this neck of the woods. A little later in the ride, trendsetters, will be riding across or near the top of that range in camera, and there's a pretty tasty little gravel ascent to reach that. Rolling across the very first mixed surface gravel road, lime rock road, etc. of the day. It's extremely peaceful out here. We've seen one car on this road thus far. Vineyards, olive trees, sounds of the Aussie bush, what's not to love? The ocean has appeared. Shortly we'll be rolling into Sellicks Beach. Welcome to Sellicks Beach. Danger, steep and unstable cliffs. No access. We roll away now from Sellicks Beach inland, and soon we'll be ascending a pretty tough gravel climb to the top of that range, or near the top of that range. Overlooking Sellicks Beach. Onto the biggest climb of the day, not huge, 4.5 k's. On bitumen to start with. On gravel shortly. Berg Herring Wines. The local gravel cyclist types will know this climb. It starts right near the Victory Hotel. Alright LGC, ignore that sign. Alright LGC, are you ready for about almost 4 k's of sweet ascending? This reminds me a little bit of the sweet trail I did on the Verdugo Mountains near Burbank, California, although that was steeper, but still luscious and quiet, and it's not super steep, which is nice. Looks like you're taking it all in today. You might be able to catch that in camera shot. Some dip dumped a, looks like a Ford Falcon. Probably rolled it down and bang into the bush. It's been there quite a while. huge thistles, and I mean huge, gigundo even. Much of this area is very reminiscent of Northern California. Briefly on Main South Road, which as many of the locals know is a pain in the ass. Welcome trendsetters to the small town of Myponga, here in the Fleurieu coast, made by nature. Riding through the main drag of Myponga, and there is a brewery in town that I'm going to stop at and indulge in a brewski. The Smiling Samoyed. One pale ale. LGC, you know the one thing about visiting a brewery during a ride that's a real problem? Is that you get a nice buzz going and you want to have another beer, but really you can't, and you want to sit here all day and just hang out. Real problem. A real first world problem, that is. Before we continue today's ride, need to visit the dunny here, okay? The public loo bog. Now, have no fear. You're not going to see me slug, but I want you to see this. Inside the classic Australian bog, the piss trough. Always wash your hands. Don't be a dirty bastard. It's time to roll, LGC. And don't forget, we always provide plenty of quality cultural content. Where else do you see inside an Australian bog? Alright, farewell, Myponga. Until next time. I'll tell you one thing, trendsetters. When I retire in a couple of years, hopefully, and maybe live part-time in Australia, I'm going to take up lawn bowls once in a while. You hear that, LGC? I'm going to play some lawn bowls. Welcome to the Fleurieu Milk Company, which I understand is South Australia's premium dairy. We have another gravel road coming up here, and maximum speed of 80 k's an hour. 80 k's an hour, LGC, is the maximum speed. That's 50 mile an hour. Hello, ladies. Cared. We have asshole motorists in Australia too. Brilliant. A wee bit of bitumen between dirt road, gravel road, any road sectors. Rot roll back on the gravel here shortly. LGC batten down the hatches. Be prepared. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is a really hard packed road. You could easily ride 25s on the current sector. Oi! It might be feeding time. Good afternoon. Alright, just so you know, there's no carrots on board. again, trendsetters, we're very close to the outskirts of Mount Compass. Likely won't be visiting today. I'll have to go out and back and that sort of thing. I don't really want to backtrack today, mostly because part of that out and back involves a sort of busy main road. In Australia, we like to highlight the potholes with spray paint. Now, whether or not they'll be fixed is another matter. We have about 12 kilometres remaining on today's ride. How lovely is this, trendsetters? The final climb of the day, which is on pavement, will take us to the descent of Old Willunga Hill Road, which is a road used many times during the tour down under, except ascending it. We'll have a good look at the summit of Old Willunga Hill shortly. Closed for the tour down under. Summit of Willunga Hill. There's LGC. We're descending this little bugger. It's only 3K to LGC, so here's the interesting thing. KOM, in terms of the blokes, 6 minutes 39 by Richie Port, then the QOM by Sarah Gigante, I'm not sure. Anyway, very impressive times, and more than likely in the big ring. The big ring LGC, the big chain ring. Descending Willunga Hill on Gravel Kings by Panaracer. There's the old Bush Inn. Good place to hang out if you want to get a few libations before the climbing action happens. Typically they do a couple of loops in the area and hit that climb about 2 or 3 times. It's after 5 PM here today, so the town has kind of rolled up its footpath or sidewalk if you prefer. It's pretty sleepy a lot of the time. Here comes LGC. She took her time coming down the descent. Rightio, trendsetters, that wraps it up for today. I think this is our 3rd ride of 2024. Either way, bloody amazing here in Willunga, South Australia. Plenty more content coming out during this trip, and a ton of content that is linked in the description below from our trip to my Aussie homeland and LGC's first trip to Australia. Alrighty, as always, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel for interesting ride experience videos such as this one. No bull gravel bike reviews, other product reviews, and of course, general madness. What the f am I doing with my life? Actually, it's pretty good. We'll see you in the next video.